Why, hi there. I'm Ron Chuck, and it's time for the DoDCast Postgame show for this August 2nd, 2017, after the Nationals were outplayed, outpitched, outhit, and outdefended by the Miami Marlins 7-0. Ever since Max Scherzer went down with that injury and they blew a 6-0 lead last night, the Nats have looked lethargic. They look tired. The lead, though, is still 12 games. Let's not get into a tizzy because they still are 20 games above 500 at 63 and 43 and still hold a 12-game lead in the division. 3 against the Cubs starting Friday at Wrigley Field. And you'll see us all this weekend. You'll see me on Friday, you'll see Drew on Saturday, and you'll see Ricky on Sunday. Don't panic. They went out there with an emergency pitcher tonight, A.J. Cole, and he held his own really till the 5th inning. And then it got out of hand. Yes, there are some concerns, but it's not the end of the world out here. So, final score tonight, 7-0, and the game ended with a Giancarlo Stanton absolute rob job of Brian Goodwin in right field. Leapt over the wall into one of the, I believe it was the Marlins bullpen, and pulled a home run out, or it would have been 7-2, which would have made the final score look better. But just what a magnificent play by Stanton. Isn't it great for the game that he's healthy? It really is. All right, let's get to the totals, because I'm sure none of you have anything to say in chat. As I said, the Nats go to 63 and 43. No runs tonight, 4 hits and an error. Miami, 7 runs, 10 hits and no errors. Vance Worley, old friend, goes to 1-2, and A.J. Cole goes to 1-1. Remember, he beat the Phillies earlier this year. And I thought he looked better tonight against them. You know what? The Nats did not have any runners in scoring position, and they didn't strand anybody on base. They had 4 singles. They had no extra base hits. I think it's the first time all year they haven't had an extra base hit. And it's the first game I've done all year. Oh, they left 1 runner on, that they did not have a runner in scoring position. The sky is not falling, folks. A.J. Cole, 5 innings, 6 hits, 5 runs, all earned. He walked 4 and struck out 5, and he gave up the 2 home runs. 97 pitches, 58 strikes. It's certainly a lot better than the Johnny Holstaff that we thought was going to have happen. Compared to what I saw from Cole back, I believe it was in April, he pitched better. He pitched better. He gave you 3 good innings. He threw 5. He looked a little more confident in his stuff, and I think in the end he just got tired. Eddie Romero, that's a concern. 2/3 of an inning, 1 hit, 2 runs, both earned, a walk and a strike and 2 strikeouts. One of the runs came in courtesy of a Matt Albers allowing a base hit. Left with an injury, probably back spasms. Happened to him before. Albers, not a great night. He gave up a run for Romero, even though obviously wasn't charged with it. An inning, 3 hits, and a strikeout. And Kinsler, the Rhino, makes his debut. Struck out 2, got 4 outs. Helps if I read the right column. 23 pitches for 19 strikes. Some filthy sliders, too. Very impressed with what I saw for that. 2 hours and 54 minutes. And sure, there were 17,190 people there. All right, it helps if I actually open up the window. And if you've said something in chat, it's not showing up. All right, okay. In all seriousness, Seth says, hi, Seth. Kinsler's Nat debut is a great one, which it was. He really was as good as he thought it was going to be. Gets all 4 hitters he faces, shows a heavy sinker, impressive. Absolutely. The home run of Stanton just made a magnificent play to Rob Goodwin. Absolutely right. I mean, there's a reason why Stanton's one of the most exciting people to watch in the game. Goodwin smoked that one, too. I mean, that was almost a no-doubter. Let's see. Football is back tomorrow. I hope your Redskins do well. Drew blew the game. Oh, that's right. No, the Hall of Fame game's tomorrow, isn't it? Drew blew the game with a 6-0 lead. That'll be noted in his next personal evaluation, Judo. Ron got the shutout tonight. Yes, I got a shutout. Oh, yeah, wrong team. Ricky is carrying us right now. I think you have Ricky on Sunday. You have Drew on Twitter Saturday and Sunday, and you have Ricky on Sunday. I hope we have a win before then. Bring back Ricky for the rest of the season. He'll be happy to hear that, Seth. I'll let him know that you said that. Vote Keeler in hashtags. You don't like me anymore. I'm hurt. Okay. We had a runner in scoring position. No, Seth, he wasn't in scoring position. He was on first and would have scored on the home run. And Judo says, I'm still happy because Max got a homer. Yeah, his first big league homer, and that was a no-doubter. And you told me what was going on. And that was absolutely a bomb. Second deck. Now, let's start to go through these one by one because it came up in Twitter. You know, people are upset, you know, like, oh, we're going to lose the division. I've sat through 78. I sat through the Red Sox in 2011. I've sat through a World Series that we gave away with one strike. I know, Seth, you're kidding. One strike away and then had to play Game 7. The Nats are not making mental mistakes. When they were tired earlier in the year, it was the bullpen was there, and they're not making mental mistakes. They're not going out there and beating themselves. This is a very banged-up team. You have 4 offensive starters not in the lineup. Yeah, Chris is pretty good too. Not in the lineup. They're coming back soon. Jason Worth and Michael A. Taylor are rehabbing in West Palm Beach. Don't know. We should see Trey Turner reasonably soon, but he has not started baseball activities yet. And so when you see those, when you can fill up 3 of those holes, that's a big deal. This offense still, despite getting, I don't know what the specific number is tonight after the shutout, but before tonight, they were scoring after the All-Star break 5.6 runs a game. It's still a lethal offense. They can score runs and bunches and bunches. They're not fleet of foot on the base paths, and they're relying too much on the home run. But having said that, they're going to get healthy, and once they get Turner and Taylor back, they can start to steal bases again. They can be a concern. There's no one in the National League East that is as good as the Nats. The Marlins have cut the lead to 12, but it's August 2nd, and it's a 12-game lead. Steven Strasburg will come back. Not sure how long he stays healthy for, but if there was a concern that if Strasburg wasn't going to be there, you know that there would have been a trade on Monday. They still might go out and get another starting pitcher. The bullpen problems that plagued this team up until before the All-Star break seem to be settled. The addition of Ryan Manson, Sean Doolittle, and what we saw tonight from Kinsler was wonderful. If they can get 6 innings in a playoff game from a starter and keep them in there, they're going to win their share of games, and that's all that matters. They have a chance. I don't see the signs of a collapse. You can quibble whether or not Dusty Baker should be resting his players as often as he is, but look, they haven't played a meaningful game in forever. And it's hard to keep that intensity, especially in a ballpark where they absolutely make no noise. Absolutely no noise. That's tough. Even when the Marlins were scoring, it sounded like canned things. I mean, that's not going to be the case at Wrigley. That place is going to be rocking and rolling, and you're going to feed off of that. Seth said, I think I read the tweet earlier, but Seth said the Nats look like the energy drain of months of compensating for 10 men on the disabled list, and he's absolutely right. It's catching up with them. It's going to be a tough week or two for the troops to return. Judo says the 4 middle guys are essentially carrying the lineup right now. They're stupid good, but can't carry them every night. When Turner gets back, he'll have a big time. You have to have that distraction for the pitcher. And Harper is swinging at pitches he shouldn't be swinging at. The last at-bat tonight, the fly ball to center that died was his best swing since he had the multi-home run game. Seth says this actually happens a lot to teams in history. We are just going through a tough streak. We will bounce back. I'm really not concerned because I think with the exception of catcher, I think all of the needs, the glaring holes have been met. It's just a question of when do you get Strasburg back? When do you get your front four back? The Edwin Jackson that pitched the Sunday night doubleheader game against the Rockies was incredible. And that's what you want to see. You did not need to burn all your bullpen here tonight. Everyone's off tomorrow. They aren't really making a lot of – they're not beating themselves. They're not letting teams get back into games. I got to admit, I didn't see last night. I know they blew the six-run lead, which I know kind of goes a lot against my argument. But these things happen, and they've been playing really well on the road. When they get back home, I mean, it's important for the fans. You've got fans to go out and support this team and get behind them and cheer like crazy because that's what they need. They need that energy. And if you think it's tough for the Nats, imagine the Marlins playing there. So they lose the series. They won the opener Monday night on Gio's absolute magical game. And, yeah, he was lifted, Seth, because of an injury. I know you're pulling that tweet off of somewhere. He had back spasms before. Trainer came out. He threw one pitch. Dusty took the ball from him, so it was a good precautionary move. It's not time to worry. It really isn't time to worry. Yes, the Dodgers got better. They got Yu Darvish, and they picked up Tony Watson. And Cody Bellinger hit his 30th of the year tonight. I'm not worried about this team. Let's see. Also, Judo says, also with Max Scherzer going down even for just one night, as much of a competitor as he is, it has to discourage the team. Never take any game for granted, but made the right decision last night. Yeah, I think it kind of caught them off guard, and those are the things that you really can't prepare for. You're figuring that Scherzer's going to sit there and give you 6-7 innings of 9 or 10 strikeout ball, and you got 6-run lead, so we can kind of relax. And he slept wrong. We've all done that. Hopefully a trip to the chiropractor will work for him, and he'll make his next start. In fact, I saw the TBAs go for over the weekend. Again, I really wouldn't worry about that right now. Seth says, I think the Nets will do a great job against the Cubs, in my opinion, on Friday. I think you play to the level of the teams that you play against. And I think the Nats have something to prove in this series against the Cubs. The Cubs got kind of whiny in D.C. But they're playing a lot better now than they were when they played in D.C. This was the start of Bryce Harper's troubles at the plate. I don't think you're going to see any of the big four take some time off. I don't know if they will, how long Worth and Taylor will be down in West Palm Beach rehabbing for. But it's possible you might see at least Taylor come back over the weekend, which, again, would be a shot in the arm. As far as the Dodgers trades don't work out and Darvish goes down with an injury, it's possible. I mean, they're without Clayton Kershaw with a bad back, but they're on a pace to win 116. But in the playoffs, your records are 0-0 at the start of each series. At this point they're going to be hosting, unless the Cubs really catch fire, they're going to be hosting the National League Central team in the NLDS, and they're going to be the road team. All right. Coco just tweeted, thanks, Seth. It's a forearm spasm for Andy Romero. Dusty says, DL stint looks likely. Sammy Solis might be coming back. Again, just to show us, let me see what else I can grab on that. The other guys are off tonight. Talk amongst yourselves. As far as the Dodgers and injuries are concerned, you never know. But they got the big one right now with Kershaw out. That was Jamal Collier. Andy Romero left the game with the forearm strain. Sounds like a stint on the DL is likely. Sammy Solis might be coming back, as Seth said. In fact, Zuckerman has said that Sammy Solis will be coming back up. That's a big one, folks. That's not what you want to see. Forearm strains lead to bad things. And let me get back to the point that Judo was saying. Just goes to show how smart Max is. He's tough enough, but not Dakota Glover himself with a 14-game lead in the division. So we'll keep an eye on Andy Romero. That is not good, a forearm strain. Obviously don't know how much more we will know tonight. Oh, just seeing on the delay that you can see the cat relaxing behind me. See if I can see anything else there. That's not good. Forearm injury is not good. Again, if things don't happen this year for the Nats, they've gone through every possible injury and still have a huge divisional lead. All right, Seth, if you see any more on that, bud, just keep popping them in. Let's see, games in the division. The Dodgers and Braves are tied at 3 in the bottom of the 8th. How about that? Cubs are trail Arizona 2-0 in the top of the 8th. Mets trail the Rockies 5-4 in the top of the 5th. And the Angels and Phillies just started on the coast. Angels have a runner on first in the bottom of the 1st. Orioles lead the Royals 6-0 tonight. And I think that takes care of anything that has merit in the National League and the locals. It'd be nice to have more people in the chat, Seth, but it's important that you guys enjoy it as well. Let's go through the minor league stuff real quick. Syracuse and Pawtucket begin after a long delay in Rhode Island. Syracuse leads 5-4 in the bottom of the 7th. Clint Robinson with a 3-run homer in the 5th for the Chiefs. Double-A fine. Everything else is a final. Harrisburg beat Reading tonight 9-5. Austin Voth picks up his second win since being demoted. Now 2-1 with a 4.12 ERA. Hernandez with his 7th home run of the year. Potomac beat Lynchburg 6-5 earlier today. Pantoja with a win, his first of the year, 1-2 with a 2.2, or first at this level anyway, 1-2 with a 2.29 ERA. Mendez with his 10th save. Davidson with his 7th homer, and Daniel Johnson with his 3rd. Michael A. Taylor played in this game today and was intentionally walked twice. Kind of sounds like dirty pool to me. Hagerstown beat Hickory 7-1. Bramer with the win, his first. He's 1-0 with a 1.50 ERA. Fuentes with the 2nd save. Corridor and Franco with home runs. Corridor is 5th and Franco is 9th. Auburn beat Mahong Valley in New York Penn League action 9-6. Cousins goes to 2-1 on the year. And Mary Gildo with his 5th homer for Auburn. Victor Robles, I think, went 3 for 39 too. Gulf Coast Nationals beat the Marlins. Hey, we did beat the Marlins today, 5-1. Zwetch gets the win, his first. He has no ERA. And the Dominican team shut out the Yankees 5-0. Michelle with a win. He goes to 1-0 with a 10.80 ERA. And Cuello with his first save. And that takes care of what you got out elsewhere in the organization and around the National League. I'm missing Seth's point here. I'll go to Judo. I think Dodgers are good even without Kershaw. He's probably the best pitcher of this era. I agree with that. Although Max gives him a competition, but he doesn't really anchor the division like Max does. Now Max against Kershaw, just different dynamics. And the Dodgers have shuttled an amazing amount of people in and out. They really have taken full advantage of the 10-day disabled list as opposed to the 15, and they've had trouble keeping people healthy. I did not, Seth. I fell asleep. Seth asked if I watched the Wild Red Sox game last night. I saw what happened, but I fell asleep. It was kind of my night off because of doing stuff for this place for the next week. I think with the Dodgers, it's a case of they're playing so well, but they have to do it in a best of 5 series. You can't fall, count out Arizona or Colorado. Christian Vasquez, the Red Sox, I think, came down from 5 twice. And Christian Vasquez with a walk-off home run, Judo. Great catch, though, by, I believe it was a Cleveland defender, just robbing one of the Red Sox of a home run. You can't count out Arizona and Colorado in a best-of-5 series, especially if they don't have Kershaw. There's no guarantees in the playoffs. I mean, we're talking like the Nats are going to beat the Cubs and face the Dodgers, but there are absolutely no guarantees. And the Cubs pitching staff is rather old too. Lester and Lackey are not young guys. Or Milwaukee. I mean, you really can't count out Milwaukee. They went out, and, they're a good young team on the rise. I think you've awoken the sleeping giant though in the Cubs, and it's difficult. It was Austin Jackson who robbed Hanley Ramirez of a homer. If Al, Red Sox fan, is watching this, he can applaud that we've turned this into Red Sox chat. I guess before I leave you, I really think that they seriously need to look for an upgrade at catcher. Maybe it means giving Pedro Severino another chance behind the plate and see how he can handle hitting. They're just both Wieters and Lobaton are automatic outs. Now, Wieters is a better overall catcher than Lobaton, but you can't have that kind of black hole in the lineup when you have so many bench players playing to begin with. It's a deep bench, but we've gone as deep as you possibly can with it. I mean, even Stephen Drew's on the disabled list now, and Chris Heisey's been released. He asked for that release, by the way, if you were wondering. You've really reached the point now where you need to find that small little tweaks. And you can make trades on the waiver wire. If you go back and read my article today on the Scherzer scare, I kind of go through what the waiver trade process is. So I still don't think you quite need a starter yet. It depends on what happens. And, Jackson pitched well on Sunday. Drew can catch judo. Joker, what do you think? Oh, they're talking about Mr. Douglas. So that pretty much wraps it up. Let's see, what did we do today? I did a piece on how the waiver process worked and how the Scherzer scare kind of exposed what we saw tonight. The team is kind of running out of depth. And there isn't much more they can do without making a trade. They've milked Syracuse as dry as they possibly can. And, I think they're doing the best with what they have. I'm not saying that the team is managed. You might want to juggle the lineup around a little bit. But I do think you see all the offensive regulars that you can when the series starts against the Cubs. And I'm excited about Howie Kendrick. How about you? That was a great acquisition. I mean, yes, you lose Mackenzie Mills, but, you got a guy that had 6 straight hits. Seth, Bryce Harper actually was a catcher in high school and was a pitcher in high school. I don't think he'd risk the Harper injury. I think he's too valuable to be behind the plate. Let's see. And what did Ricky – and Ricky previewed A.J. Cole start. Let me talk a little bit more about Cole before I run off on you. I think he pitched well at times tonight. He was a better pitcher than what we saw in April. He got rattled a little bit in the first, and he got tired in the 5th. But there's some good potential there. I think if they had to use him again this year, he'll get sent back down for now. But I think they will not hesitate to bring him back up. And you're right. Apricot Fetty. When they were in high school together, I think it was in high school together. Harper is just too valuable, I think, to use as a catcher. You get a ding. No Adam Ling. Adam Ling is not going to catch. I really think either give Severino some at bats or find someone that has cleared waivers just to upgrade Severino. Wieters, remember, probably is using the time off because he hasn't probably played this much in a while. I'd have to look. And Atlanta just beat the Dodgers. So there you go. So Good hope for Arizona and Colorado. All right, so here's the schedule for the weekend. They're all 2:20 day games in Chicago, 2:20 Eastern. I'll be with you after Friday's game, which is Tanner Roark's next start. Drew Douglas will be on Twitter for you for the weekend, Saturday and Sunday. He will be with you here in the chat, and Ricky Keeler and someone from Cubby's Crib will be here with you on Sunday after the series. Before they go home for a 2:20 because it's 1:20 in Chicago. And all the day games in Chicago are 1:20 starts. Goes back to the days of old WGN television and a very long pregame show, so they could get some commercials in, and really goes back to when they didn't have lights at Wrigley. They put them. Judo was talking about not remembering the '90s. I remember when Wrigley didn't have lights. They didn't put them in until '88. So yeah, it's for television reasons. So Friday's the only weekday games the Cubs play. When Judo says, you and Drew need to do some simulated DoDCast to get your groove back. You know what? I believe this is our 140th show. I think we do enough of these. Anyway, so it's me on Friday, Drew on Saturday, and Ricky and a special guest on Sunday. And Arizona's being the Cubs in the ninth. And so Ricky will have, I believe, is doing the storylines for the Cubs series on Friday. I'm going to be working on, for Friday, the 5 likely targets for possibly a starting pitcher through the trade market, through the waiver trade market. I'm not sure what Drew's working on. He's working, and we'll actually probably keep you updated. He told me what he was working on, but I don't have that window open. I okayed it. I just don't remember it. And I'm sure we'll have more tomorrow on Andy Romero because the forearm strain is not what you want to see. All right, so for everyone, Brian Foley, Chris Lacey, Drew Douglas, and my good buddy Ricky Keeler, I'm Ron Chuckett. Thanks for being with us. Have a good night, everybody. Good night, Seth. And I will talk to you Friday afternoon, hopefully, with a happy recap at about 5 o'clock. Good night.